Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about the duties of the scholar that Emerson has described in his essay The American Scholar. Emerson considers the duties of the American scholar. These duties are such as are worthy of man thinking. All those duties may be summed up in the expression self-trust. The first duty of the scholar is to cheer, to raise, and to guide men by showing them facts amidst appearances. He does the slow, unhonored, and unpaid task of observation. He must observe and study men and their psychology, and must not mind if fame does not come to him at once. He must be prepared to accept not only poverty and scorn of the people, but also solitude. He is the world's eye and also the world's heart. In other words, he sees and feels for others. He must preserve and communicate heroic sentiments, noble biographies, melodious verse, and the conclusions of history. Such being his duties, it will be necessary for him to have full confidence in himself and never to heed popular opinions. He should have the confidence to think that not only does he know the world properly, but also that he will not be carried away from his own convictions by mere appearances or popular propaganda. This self trust includes all the other virtues. In understanding his own mind, he would understand all minds and thus would be the lord and master of those with whom he has to deal with. People will then listen to him with pleasure and find that he has expressed their innermost thoughts and sentiments. Self confidence and conviction are the keys to success in every sphere of life. The scholar should be free and brave. He should not tolerate any hindrances except those which arise from within himself. He should be brave because fear is a thing which a scholar, by his very definition, puts behind him. Fear always arises from ignorance. He should face the world boldly because the world belongs to him who can see through its pretenses. It is for those who are lacking in self confidence to feel afraid of this world. The scholar must have so much confidence in himself as to be able to influence the world with his ideas and free others from fear. It is not the man who can alter matter who is great. The great man is he who can alter the state of mind of others. The great man makes the great thing. The day is always his who works in it with serenity and great aims. The common people worship the great man because they see in him the ripening of human potentialities. They bask in the warmth of a great man and feel that warmth to be a part of their own being. They are willing to give their own blood to make the heart of the great man beat. He lives for them and they live in him. The scholar should try to be such a heroic man, and then all will bow down to him. Men, such as they are, naturally seek money or power. They seek power because it is as good as money or because money comes through power. That is why we have the press, the spoils of office. People think this to be the highest good, but if they were to realize that this is a false aim, they would not hanker after power or office and would have the government to be run by clerks and petty officials. It is the duty of the scholar to bring about such an awakening. Such a revolution in the minds of people can be brought about by the gradual spreading of the idea of culture. Each philosopher, each poet, each actor has only done for us what one day we can do for ourselves. It is one soul which animates all men. It is one light which shines from 1,000 stars. The scholar must understand this truth and develop his own spiritual faculties. He must concentrate on the divine that permeates all nature and all man. If there is any period in which one would desire to be born in, it is the period of revolution. The present time, the period of revolution, like old times, is a very good one if we only knew what to do with it. There are signs of such a revolution in poetry and art, in philosophy and science, in church and state. A golden age seems to be at hand. The scholar must contribute his bit to the ushering in of such an age of golden possibilities. The lowest class in society is being given more and more importance in literature. This is a healthy sign and it points to the birth of a new age. The low and the common is now being explored and is becoming the subject of poetry. The literature of the poor, the feelings of the child, the philosophy of the street, the meaning of household life. These are the topics of the new age. It's a great step forward. It is a sign of new vigor. One design unites and animates the most distant height and the lowest range. The lowest range, the common man, must therefore receive equal attention. The American scholar must try to bring about such a revolution in literary taste. This idea inspired the genius of Goldsmith, Burns, Cooper, and it subsequently inspired Goethe, Wordsworth, and Carlyle. This idea they have differently followed, and with varying success. By contrast with their writings, the style of Pope of Johnson looks cold and pedantic. The writings of Goethe and the other romantics are, however, as warm as blood. Their writings show that things near are no less beautiful and wonderful than things remote. The near explains the far. The drop is a small ocean. A man is related to all nature. This perception of the worth of the law and the vulgar is a welcome development, and the scholar must do his best to further this change. There is one man of genius who has done much to bring about such change and to popularize this new philosophy of life, and he is Emanuel Swedenborg. He is the most imaginative of men, and yet he writes with the precision of a mathematician. He tried to engraft a purely philosophical ethics on the popular Christianity of his time. He saw and made others see the connection between nature and the affections of the soul. Especially did he interpret the lower parts of nature, and he showed the mysterious hand that allies moral evil to the foul material forms, and has given in epical parables a theory of insanity, of beasts, of unclean and fearful things. The scholar must follow the lead given by him. The scholar is that man who must take up into himself all the ability of the time, all the contribution of the past, all the hopes of the future. He must be a university of knowledge. He is a man who has understood that the world is nothing and that the man is all important. In man himself is the law of all nature. He must know that reason slumbers within him. He must awaken it and apply his reasoning faculty to understand the truth about man and his life. Through his efforts and courage, he must bring about the union of man and with nature and God. The scholar must rise above the greed for worldly power and pelf. Every individual should, with full confidence, rely on his own instincts and should make those instincts prevail for the good of the world. He must work patiently to achieve his noble aims. If that is done, the American people will walk on their own feet, will work with their own hands, and will speak their own mind. They will acquire self-confidence and independence of outlook. A nation of men will then for the first time exist. The divisions of the North and the South will give way, and each will believe himself to be inspired by the divine soul, which also inspires all men. The scholar must carry out this noble task with patience, courage, and determination. Thanks for listening and watching the video.